Hello and welcome to Football Fanatics, and more importantly, welcome to the whiteboard, making football fans more educated this offseason. So today we're going over what is the ineligible receiver penalty, what is the ineligible formation penalty, all those ones where you're like, what in the world? There's eligible and ineligible formations. So, jumping right into it, we first need to note that there are eligible receivers and ineligible receivers. Now, eligible receivers will wear the numbers between 49 or 0 and 49 or 80 to 89, and ineligible will wear the complement of that, where you're 50 to 79 and 90 to 99. So traditionally, your offensive lineman might look like 70, 71, 72, 53, 62. Sure, why not? That would be a perfectly fine offensive line. They would all be wearing these ineligible numbers. They're linemen, so they traditionally will line up as eligibles. And then our eligible receivers in blue here will have to wear numbers between 0 and 49 or 80 and 90. So here we can have like an 88, an 84, a 5, like a 18, a 16, and like a 12. See, all of these are wearing ineligible or eligible receiver numbers. Now, how do we know if they're lined up as an eligible receiver, like 88 here, or as an ineligible receiver, like Mr. 70 here, okay? And the start is the line of scrimmage. So these front 7 guys are part of the line of scrimmage, meaning they're the closest to the line, to the opposition. 16, 18, 5, and our quarterback here, 12, are all considered in the backfield. Now, they could be barely in the backfield, like 18 here, as what we would traditionally call like a wing tight end. They could be way in the backfield, like 12 and 5, where you're 5, maybe even, like if we were in a punting formation, your punter could be way back here ready to receive the snap. These 4 guys could be anywhere in the backfield from like 1 yard off the line of scrimmage, theoretically all the way back to the back of their end zone. So, now, that leaves us with these 7 guys that have to be on the line of scrimmage. Now, we have to have 5 ineligibles from 70 to 62 here on the line of scrimmage, and they need to be capped by 2 eligibles on either side, so 80 and 84. So, if our offense gets confused and 5 lines up on the line of scrimmage and 84 also is on the line of scrimmage, since they're capped by 2 guys, that technically makes 84 ineligible. Now we have a conflict where we have an eligible receiver at an ineligible spot. And that's where you generally will see these flags thrown. On the other hand, if 5 is off the line and 84 is off the line, then 62 becomes an eligible spot, and we actually have many fouls we could throw here, all of which are 5 yards. We could say, hey, 80 to 62 is lined up as an eligible receiver, but he is not wearing an eligible number. That's a problem. That'll be a 5-yard flag. That would be an ineligible receiver number. Additionally, we could say, hey, we don't have 7 people on the line of scrimmage here. because you need 7 because the 5 ineligible and the 2 eligible. That makes 7. So you could say, hey, you have only 6 guys on the line. You have more than 4 guys in the backfield. That could also be an issue. Now, how come you can see weirder formations than what it seems to be implied by these rules? And that's where we get into offensive lineman splits. Now, for the simplicity early on, I showed these 7 guys fairly tight. However, there's no rule that says you have to 88 here has to be close to 70. He can actually split all the way out till he's near-ish the sideline. And same thing with 84. And see, these 88 and 84 are still on the line of scrimmage here. There's just a bigger gap between 62 and 84 than there was previously. Now, if you want to get really crazy, there's no reason that 62 has to be by 83. We could actually split these guys out a bit too. And this would technically be an eligible formation. Now, you do have some practical concerns, like, alright, could they not just rush guys on either side of 72? But by the rules, this would be a perfectly fine formation. Additionally, now that I've shown, hey, 84 can be split that far wide, we could have 5 come in here, be in the backfield, but be closer to the ball than 84. Now, once we get into motion, things can get a bit more complicated, okay? Now, you're only allowed to have 1 guy in motion after the time you get set. So, like, if we wanted to put 5 in motion, cut across, get into, like, some stack here, that would be totally fine. We can run 5. We could even run 16 back and forth, or we could run 5. 12 would get a bit complicated because you're moving your quarterback, but by the rules, you could motion him anywhere. Now, what if we wanted to motion either 84 or if we wanted to motion 88? How could we do that? And the answer is a formation shift. So if we come up lined up like this and we want to move this 84, what we have to do is we have to shift, which is legal, put 5 on the line, put 84 in the backfield. Now, after we do that shift, we must stop for 1 second before we can do anything. If we do not stop and then 84 goes in motion, you'll have the illegal shift penalty. Because, okay, he was on the line, motioned, didn't stop, carry on. You have 2 guys in motion. You need to stop here for at least a second. Or you could, in theory, say, okay, we're gonna switch, have you come, but then you need to stop over here for a second. At some point, either before you motion or after you motion, you will need to stop. Generally, NFL teams like to stop before the motion because, hey, if I put 5 on the line and 84 runs over here, the defense knows, hey, you cannot snap this ball until 84 stops all the way over here. Whereas, if 84 is on the line of scrimmage, 5 is off. We flip. That now we're still in an eligible formation. And when we send 84 in motion, we could snap the ball and do a jet sweep, something of that nature. So that is why you'll traditionally see it that way. However, you, in theory, could have it be like, okay, we'll put 5 on the line, have 84 run across, get set here, wait a second, and then snap the ball and run our play. Now, Dan Skipper for the Lions made this problem a bit more apparent. So, we know that some guys will report as eligible. So let's say we have 69 on the bench here, and we want to put in a 6th lineman in the game, but we want him to be blue as an eligible receiver. Can we do that? Yes, we can. What we need to do is have 69 go and report to the umpire and say, hey, I know I'm wearing an ineligible receiver number of 69, which is between 50 and 79, but I'm going to be an eligible receiver this play, okay? And that is where you'll hear the announcement of 69 is now an eligible receiver and that will make him part of these blue eligible receivers. Now, it functions just as before. He might as well, instead of be wearing 79, he might as well be wearing 89. So, alright, that's an eligible formation because even though he's 69, he reported as eligible. That makes him these blue eligible receivers, and that has us in an eligible formation. Now, the Dan Skipper thing that the Lions were upset about was they had their Dan Skipper come on the field, and he generally will report as eligible, and debatably, you can say that he looked like he was reporting it as eligible. However, the Lions did not want him to become eligible, so I shall put him as like a gray, okay? He comes up and he lines up here on the line of scrimmage, okay? The Lions tried to have their left tackle report as eligible. He's going to go ahead and line up out here, okay? So, the Lions wanted it to look something like this, okay? Okay, we have our 5 ineligible guys. Dan Skipper, excuse me, I think it was like this. We have an ineligible receiver out here who is ineligible, but it looks like he's an eligible receiver because why would you split an lineman that far? And we've hid an eligible receiver here who generally plays left tackle, okay? We'll run our play, we'll link him out into the end zone, we'll get the 2-point conversion. However, in their shenanigans with the referee, the referee declared 70 as eligible and 69 as ineligible, which now presents 2 issues. First of all, we have an ineligible receiver and then an eligible receiver, and another eligible receiver, both on the same side of the line of scrimmage on the line. That's problem 1. The second problem was there's no eligible receiver to the left of the line of scrimmage. So that is why the flag got thrown. Now you could argue that maybe the Lions should have been a little less cute in how they reported eligible, just sent the left tackle over, report him, have him line up. Debatable. You can go on that debate forever. I'm gonna stay out of that debate, but that is the mechanics of it. I hope you learned something from this video. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.